Ron, you need to walk Jeff off the ledge.
We need to change the process. Question everything. Maybe that Ron can help crack this. Ron is not such a big dork. What the hell is he doing here?
He's got something to tell you.
You know, I have to admit this. I was not aware, of Tim's work prior to this, and you know, I get the phone call, and it's like, yeah, they're interested in you, being a part of the chair company. It's Tim Robinson. I'm like, oh, okay, and then, thank goodness for today. It's like, okay, Google Tim Robinson, and watch some of the stuff and went, wow, you don't always have the opportunity to meet somebody who's doing something new, who can really claim their own brand in this day and age, because everybody has done everything else. And Tim is truly an original. I mean, he's just so unique. And once what his worldview is and how he approaches comedy, then all of a sudden the scripts made sense, and it was like, okay, all right, this is going to be an adventure. Well, I mean, first of all, almost always, I will say yes to comedy, even without reading the script. I mean, I cut my teeth in comedy. That was my very, very first professional gig, was with a group called the 0 Hour in Fort Worth, Texas, back in 1980. We used to do kind of sketch comedy, but like a raunchier version of Saturday Night Live in punk clubs in Fort Worth. And, if you weren't funny, they threw beer bottles at you. So it was a great training ground. But my heart has always been, with comedy, even though, most people think I'm the brooding ethnic. I'm either going to make you cry or I'm going to stab you, one of the two. So it's always fun to do comedy, and was thrilled, to be asked to do this, and to this day I still don't know whose idea it was. I want to give him a big hug, because to think of me in this role, I think was some real out of the box thinking. Jeff, man, he's like an onion donkey, you just keep peeling back layers. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about the role, is that, there's so much more to it than what you might assume in episode 1. And the fact that deep down, Jeff really wants to be an artist. He has this side of him that wants to do something that's more than corporate, that's more than the button down Brooks Brothers suit, and we get a hint of that, and we're going to find out a lot more about it as time goes on, It's interesting. I think a lot of us know this guy these days. You know what I mean? With the rise of the tech bros and whatnot. This sort of purposefully casual presentation. But at the same time, wants to walk the halls of power. It's such a bizarre dichotomy. And we're seeing that a lot. With very powerful people today who still want to be cool. And Jeff fits right into that mold. It's fun to see that that they touched a nerve, and then stuff rolls downhill, as they say, and now Jeff has to take it out on the rest of his design team. But I think maybe we've all worked for somebody like that too, who actually can be a little bit mercurial, in their positions.
Yeah, well, it's heightened and silly in the chair company, but a boss giving you very vague notes that don't really make sense and being like, you need to make it feel like Sedona now, that's a real thing that people deal with directors or clients or bosses. It's speaking to a real dynamic.
No, we all know that person.
Yeah.
The I'll know it when I see it person. And meanwhile, you are scrambling to give them anything that might possibly, make the light bulb go off.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I mean, the whole show is like that, though. I mean, in the respect that it is grounded in a universe that just gets crazier and crazier, and yet we're all going along for the ride because we kind of go, yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah, it is the frustration we feel with an endless like customer support hotline, but taken to the nth degree.
Yeah, not that Tim would ever take anything to the nth degree, you know. Ron. I mean, he just keeps getting twisted tighter and tighter and tighter as the episodes have unfolded because of this really frustrating chair company rabbit hole that he's going down, when he snaps, unfortunately, Jeff is the recipient of that. I mean, the one person that he probably shouldn't snap at. So moving forward, the dynamic is going to get very interesting. It's going to get very interesting. And, I don't want to say that pushing Jeff is shocking, because we've had much more shocking moments on this show involving prosthetics and whatnot. But there will be fallout, from that. And what's interesting is that as random and as bizarre as everything seems, there is a payoff to everything that Tim and Zach, have been doing. And it amazes me. It's like when you watch an old episode of Seinfeld, they will circle back to something that was in the beginning of an episode that is such a callback and it makes so much sense. And Zach Kanan and Tim, who created the show, they have that big picture sensibility. I mean, they could go off in a million different directions, but they're going to bring the joke back home, or the plot device, or whatever it is, and that has been incredibly wonderful to watch. Yeah, the fact that he invited himself, and then Mike invites himself to the birthday party as well, it finally kind of sinks into them, and that's the problem. Is that Ron Strasberg's been trying to keep these worlds separate. I mean, there's his job, there's his family, and then there's the chair company conspiracy, and now it's all starting to to fold in on itself. He's in a Bosch version of a Venn diagram. It's it's really terrible for him. But it once again, it's that I think that bone in Jeff that thinks he's welcome everywhere, and that a little charm and a little smile and some old fashions made with mezcal are really all he needs as an entree. So again, it's just that guy who used to being the boss, used to being, I think that, when people kiss up to Jeff, he thinks it's genuine affection, and he reciprocates, like getting the team, beignet trucks. I mean, it's all well and good, but, when push comes to shove, it's kind of my way or the highway, So it'll be interesting to see in a second season how that dynamic plays out.
I love all the... Jeff is so mean to Ron. And it's all stuff that seems like a joke. Like he's like, when Ron, that's not such a big dork. And then he's like, I'm joking. Or he when he says the house is like a Lego house or a Lego.
He thinks he's in Lego land because it's a barn house. Yeah. I didn't know you lived in a barn house. Yeah. Yeah. So there's this passive aggressive thing with Jeff that's just, it's really unsettling, and what's beautiful is that the entire world, Tim and Zach, have given Ron Strasberg these foils that they bounce against, and whether it's Douglas, or his assistant Jamie, or HR, or any of these things that are literally there to get under his skin in different ways, the birthday party. They continually run into the reality of the situation, and yet it doesn't stop them from doubling down or continuing on the path they are, and especially with Ron, I mean that just results in ridiculously zany hijinks. And there's some stuff that's coming up too. My daughter Indigo's favorite at this point is we all love to make money, but we don't say I love getting paid money. And so that's, she was like, Dad, it's so serious, but it's such a silly line. And it's like, yeah, and there's so much of it that's like that. That's, sort of like, commit to the bit, literally you don't walk into somebody's house and go, I didn't know you lived in a barn house.
Right.
This is like a barn house. I feel like I'm in Legoland, And so once again, it's what I love about the comedy, especially where Jeff is concerned, is he doesn't know he's funny. He doesn't know that what he's saying is ridiculous, and it's it's that not winking at the audience. Just really keeping the character's point of view grounded. Wow, could Jeff be involved in the chair conspiracy? Would he be interested in Ron talking to him about the chair conspiracy? These are very interesting questions. Where do you live? Got an email? These are questions that I can't answer. Number one, because I signed an NDA, but also, quite honestly, I don't know where we're going. I do know certain things, but every new script is a surprise, and I have no idea where we're going in season 2. We could go to outer space for all I know. I just trust the fact that Tim and Zach have a plan, and they have a destination in mind. How we get there, obviously, is going to be the journey and quite interesting. But I really, there are things about Jeff that I don't even know at this point, and they won't tell me. So it really is living in the moment. When you go to set and you go, okay, I'm doing this. Every once in a while, I'll have a question. I'm going, what am I talking about here? Yeah. Looking for whatever you can tell me that would be helpful, because that at least gives me an inner life when I'm delivering this dialogue, and it's not totally random. So. But it certainly has made the work fun and exciting and challenging. So yeah, I'm digging it. Wow, there's some things about Jeff that have been hinted at. I can say that a bit will be revealed in the finale. That I believe will be a springboard for things that will happen in season 2. So, spoiler alert, they don't kill me yet. But it's I like where this is going potentially. I think it's going to create some real interest in who Jeff is and what Jeff's arc is, and the involvement in the meta story, if you will. So it's exciting, But as I said, I still don't know what side of the chair company scenario he's going to come down on. It's and it could go either way, But whichever way it goes, it's going to be fun.